years ago, one man shut down the entire Northeast from a central control room. Today, everything can be hacked. No one knows what part of the system will be exploited, but everyone agrees the next assault will do more than just turn out the lights.
We are here in Paris with Danny Belanger, the lead game designer of Watch Dogs. Danny, what is Watch Dogs exactly?
Watch Dogs is an action-adventure game that happens in the open world about connectivity. So the city is your weapon, and that's the base premise.
What's like the key difference between Watch Dogs and other sandbox titles in your opinion?
It's the way you use the city, information, and technology as your tools. We want the players to be comfortable with shooting, driving, navigation obviously, but connecting with the world and layering that with all your core mechanics is the biggest difference.
What do you think is the greatest challenge in doing this hyper connectivity?
It's the simulation. There's so many systems working together. It's very chaotic. You never know what's going to happen. As you saw when I played the demo, sometimes you really never know, and we think that's part of the fun. Is if you create a car accident, well, that's your cover, that's your combat. You have to use those elements. Car accident can create a fire in the gas station, so all of those create a really unique player narrative in our game.
So you're really going for simulation and AI instead of doing lots of scripted events. How do you feel that works with the narrative and the story?
We strongly believe in writing and good acting. So we have a story, but the story gives you a context. So I'll say it this way: the story gives you a problem. You have to solve your problem with the tools you have. And as a player, you can choose the tool you want. You can be, you have to intercept a guy in a car. Well, you want to ambush him with the traffic light. You want to use a car to chase him down. That's our game. So the story gives you a situation, and then it's the player's story that creates the real gameplay and your personal story. So that's what I really like about systemic games, is it allows you to express yourself as a player.
Do you have any kind of inspirations for this really sort of Orwellian world that we can see in the Watch Dogs?
There's definitely inspiration around, but the strongest inspiration is the world we live in, the social media, all the technology, the infrastructure, crime prediction, there's a lot of things in our day-to-day lives that are right here. An example I gave earlier is, in New York, there was a guy who had a dog, and he put scanning cards, a way to, I don't know how it works exactly, and then people came to pet the dog, and he gathered 2,000 credit card numbers in one day. So it's our lives. So the questions we're asking and things we're showing is really happening in our lives today. We're making it a bit earlier. There's no CTOS happening, but they're talking about it. Intelligent cities and all that is definitely coming. It's around the corner.
We saw quite a few overlaying systems and lots of stuff happening. I guess you really have open arms for the next gen consoles and PCs, but do you think you have to make any concessions for the current gen?
It's not concessions. We're trying to do the exact same game. There are some differences, though. Obviously, with more power, you can have a deeper simulation. A game like ours is great for that, being systemic. More cars, more variety in the people, more people, stronger simulation in the wind we can do. The water is definitely something that is not possible on current gen. So that will be a difference. But for the rest, it's the same experience, the same mechanics. We don't want one or the other to be better or worse, but stronger power, better graphics, of course, and it brings a little more to the depth for sure.
We saw a few of the multiplayer features as well. You seem to be taking a really interesting aspect of doing that. Is that something that you want to kind of keep the single player the main thing, but bring the hyper connectivity along as well?
Connectivity is the main thing. So even if you are in your story and your narrative, you are still, if you are connected, because you don't have to, but if you are connected, it gives you more. So I see it this way. It's a buffet, right? And you're in the city, you can do main mission, you can do side mission, you can do open world things, but you can also do multiplayer. And we're breaking the wall that forces you to quit your game, go in the main menu, you know, find matchmake, find a game, start a multiplayer. That's long, that's terrible. For us, multiplayer, single player elements are just part of the experience that you can choose to do. So that's the real focus. We're breaking that wall, and we want these people to play together and have fun. It creates a lot of interesting dynamics.
Can you share like a cool little detail? Like the game seems to be ripe with possibilities for Easter eggs and whatnot. Can you share something that we may have not seen yet?
There's a ton of things you have not seen. I don't have a concrete example, but in the next months you'll be seeing much more of the game.
Like I really like the idea of non-forced morality and the non-violence and stuff like that. How do you think that will cope with people that have gotten used to like solving everything through shooting or fighting?
It's definitely a challenge for us to make the hacking perceived as very useful. Like in the end, to be fair, it's a player choice. You know, if you're an action player, you can play action. Or we're not judging people who like action or judging people who like stealth. It's really up to the player. But the game will give you feedback on how you are. And our goal as a developer is to make sure that you understand the usefulness of hacking, the usefulness of using different ways to solve problems. The same example earlier, the convoy takedown. I could go in and shoot, but then I could be seen, the cops could come, it could draw a lot of attention, it could, you know, escalate into something I don't want, but I'll use hacking, I'll stop him with hacking, I'll be subtle, I'll use my tools. So that's the position we want. There is value in that, but as a player, you just make the choice. It's your game, play the way you enjoy the most, and that's good for us.
A project the size of Watch Dogs must be like a huge thing to manage. How big is your team in the end, if you count all the development and actors and whatnot? What it takes to make something like this?
It's very big. It's hundreds. So it's a very big team across the multiple studios. The main studio is Montreal, but Quebec, Newcastle, Bucharest. You know, we're working with a lot of different studios. So it takes a lot of people to make this type of game for sure. So, we're happy that Ubisoft is really supporting us and giving us great resources to do something pretty cool.
Police have identified the suspect in the Joseph DeMarco murder. Aiden Pierce has been identified as the man responsible for
all units, air support requested at once. Suspect is on the run.
You screw around and you get people hurt.
Or worse. They think I'm a man out of control, but I've never had so much control.